When a thing floats, then it means that the buoyant force is equal to weight. If the weight is more than the buoyant force, then it will sink. If the weight is equal to buoyant force, then it will float. And that depends on the weight depends on mass into g. Weight is mass into g, and mass is volume into density into g. Volume into density into g. So there is one rock which actually floats, and that is called a pumice rock. It is from volcanic eruptions, and a lot of gas come out. So it's, and when the water vapor cools down, there will be tiny bubbles of gas inside. This creates a very light porous box. What does this mean? That means its density is low. Density is low because the rock is not fully, it's got air pockets inside. Air pocket. It's got air. So the density is low. So the volume is high. So what happens is in these type of rocks, whenever you the Archimedes principle had said that something will float if the buoyant force and the weight are equal. Now the buoyant force depends on the volume of the liquid displaced, volume of liquid displaced or thrown out or overflowed. Now, if there is something which has got a lot of air, the volume will be thrown out will be more and the weight will be less. Weight will be less. So, if the volume is more, then the buoyant force is more. And that is why this it will float. So, this is the only rock which will float. Generally, rock sink. Rock sink because their density is high. Their density is high, so weight is high. Weight is high. And buoyant force is low because the density is high. You see, if the density is high, if density is high, the volume is less. Volume of body is less. If the volume is less, the liquid displaced is less. Liquid displaced is less. Liquid displaced is less. So the buoyant force is less. A buoyant force is less. So, and density is more means weight is more, mass is more. So, weight is more. So, weight is more, buoyant force is less. So, it sinks. But if the opposite happens, if the opposite happens, if the density is low, then the volume will be high. Then the liquid displaced will be more. Then the buoyant force will be more. And if the density is low, the mass will be less. The weight is equal to mg will be less. So weight is less and buoyant force is more. So it will float. This you should understand.